Data out today shows Spain's economic growth continued to accelerate in the second quarter, with GDP growing 1% from the quarter before. Talking through this data and more, I'm joined by Talavera, economist with Oxford Economics. Angel, Spain's economy raced ahead in the second quarter, expanding at the fastest pace in 8 years, GDP rising 1% from the quarter before. What are the main drivers for this growth, and what does it indicate for the economy?
Well, yes, we saw Spain growing at 1% quarter-on-quarter pace, which again sets it as one of the fastest growing economies in the Eurozone. Unfortunately, we don't have a breakdown of components of GDP available yet, so we can only guess what the drivers were. It's very likely that we will see that, again, consumers were a big part of this strong growth in the second quarter, but we have to wait until next month to actually see the final figures. And then when we see those, what we want to see, ideally, it's a broadening of the recovery, which means that not only consumers are driving growth, but also we would like to see investment also growing strongly, and ideally also exports doing well, especially in an environment of slowing trade volumes in the world. The number was broadly expected by most participants, so it wasn't a big surprise, but it still sets Spain as growing at a really, really strong pace, which I think it's a very positive right now, and it reinforces our view that growth this year is going to be above 3%.
Last week, we saw Spain create more than 400,000 jobs in the second quarter, bringing the unemployment rate down to its lowest level since 2011. However, the opposition warned that many of the new jobs are temporary and of poor quality. Should we be taking all of this positive data with a pinch of salt? And are there any potential headwinds for the Spanish economy?
Yes, definitely with a pinch of salt. Q2 numbers for employment were very, very good. I mean, was almost more than 400,000 jobs were created, which was a great number. However, part of this increase was driven by seasonal factors. In Spain, the second quarter is always the strongest quarter of the year in terms of employment. So we don't expect that kind of job creation to be repeated in the coming quarters. It's going to slow down. Also, it's important to remember that the level of unemployment in Spain is still really, really, really high. 22.4 is second highest in the Eurozone behind Greece. So there's a lot of work to be done. And finally, like you mentioned, it is important to analyze the quality of the jobs that are being created. There's a lot of jobs are being created are low paid. A lot of them are not even full-time positions. And the overall quality of employment in Spain needs to increase going forward. For now, the unemployment is so high that just creating jobs is probably good enough to keep consumption growing. But going forward, you want to see a better quality of employment. That's very important for a longer-term outlook.
And it is an election year this year. With a stronger economy, improved financial conditions from low inflation and cheaper energy, does it appear Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has secured his second term?
No, by no means we can say that Rajoy has secured a second term. Right now, the polls are showing increasingly divided voting intentions, and it's a very open race. The last elections, local elections that took place a couple of months ago in Spain, they show that there's a lot of discontent in Spain with the ruling party and with the traditional parties, and we saw the rise of two new parties, Podemos and Ciudadanos, and we expect this is going to continue as a trend going forward in Spain. Of course, Rajoy is going to sell some of these big positive economic numbers as a proof of his policies, the success of his policies and his reforms. But right now, it is the most likely scenario is that no party is going to achieve a majority in the national elections. So we're going to see alliances are going to need to be formed to create a government after the elections. And right now, it's basically too close to call to make a call on who is going to rule after the elections. Right now, it's really, really tough call.
Some great insight into the Spanish economy from Angel Talavera there. For up-to-date analysis like this, keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV.